Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Chris coming at you from my channel. I Am Toys again. Like usual, always make sure you hit that 4K option so you get this in all its resolution. So this is going to be quite a treat today, man. You know, again, another custom review. Not technically a full-blown horror review, because this film, even though it's based on a Stephen King book, again, if you don't know what this figure's from, you've been under a rock, but this is a figure based off of the movie Green Mile, or the book, which is by Stephen King. Stephen King is generally known for a lot of his horror, novellas and, short stories and stuff like that. But he has also done some books and some stories that aren't so horror as well. Some fantasy based, some fantasy horror. I consider the Green Mile fantasy horror, to tell you the truth, because it does have, some of these horror elements to it, 100%. So that's just how I categorize it. I think most critics would probably put it in the fantasy, maybe crime, drama, stuff like that. But it's Stephen King, man. Stephen King always has a way of integrating horror elements even into some of his other stories. Like even Shawshank Redemption, there are components to that film which would still kind of fall into the line of a horror movie. Most films that are based on serial killers, things of that nature, have horror elements. Fucking Seven, for instance. I consider that film definitely a fucking horror film. I mean, it's a crime thriller as well, but definitely horror elements to it as well. Shawshank Redemption, I think there are some horror elements there as well, but we'd probably be stretching it a little bit more than we would with the Green Mile for sure. But always Stephen King has, little traces of these elements, because those are his fucking roots, man. I mean, for the most part. So there's no, going against it. But this is really a treat, man. I mean, I wish I knew more about this figure and kind of what went into it as far as the history, because I should have probably contacted Alex, who is from this, I'm assuming Serbia, because the name of his company, as you can see on the label, if it's showing up, is Serbian Custom Studio. And this apparently, I got this from Joe Bratton, of course. Shout out to his channel over at 6 Scale Grails. And I thought I saw him say he had 2 of these or something of that nature, and he got one in a trade or something, or maybe this was his personal copy. And he ended up parting with at least one of them, and I picked it up, and he said, have you heard about what went into this figure, or what happened, because it's really been a while, I guess, since it's been in production. And I honestly don't know, and I didn't have a chance to actually ask him, and I didn't contact Alex before this. But for those of you who are watching this video and you do know, feel free to throw it in the comments, so people can actually get into it and kind of have a history of what the trials and tribulations were. But all I know is what I see in front of my face right now, guys, and it's an amazing fucking figure, and one of my definitely favorite Stephen King books / films. His character John Coffey was amazing, and really a representation of just I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. Michael Clark Duncan is no longer with us. I guess we'll say that first. Passed away within the last 2 to 3 years, unfortunately, and was a charismatic actor, man. I mean, every single film he's been in has been fantastic to some degree. I mean, I really liked him in The Island, even though he killed him off relatively easy. His role in Daredevil, he's played Kingpin, but he would have been a good Kingpin if he had a better director. I guess we'll say that. But he was even decent in that. He's entertaining, man, and he was awesome in this movie as well. And probably his best role, because you got to really see him, put emotion and see him in a character that you wouldn't ordinarily see him in, and opposite actors that you may have not seen him with prior to that. Him and Tom Hanks, awesome fucking chemistry. I mean, even with the rest of the crew, really good. And Alex Filipov put this amazing thing together. I'm assuming he facilitated the tailoring and things of that nature. I don't know if it was the tailoring was done by another artist. I have no clue. But we'll get into this review anyway, and I'm going to show you guys the up and down. I'll even rotate them around as well. And this thing it's amazing. I mean, it's probably one of the best pieces of art I have been witness to in 1/6 scale form when it comes to figures. So let me quit yapping, because I can fucking do that as we actually talk about the figure. So let's just get into it. So as we go aerial with this guy, like I usually do when we zoom in, I mean, just look at that fucking head, dude. I mean, wow. Wow. Absolutely amazing. So good. I mean, if that isn't Michael Clark Duncan, I don't know who the fuck it is. But really awesome. I mean, I'm assuming, like I said, I don't know much about what went into this creation. I'm assuming Alex did the sculpt. I'm assuming he did the paint, because I don't see anything else on the COA. And I mean, the name of the studio is essentially Serbian Custom Studio, so I'm assuming maybe there's some other people that are within his the studio, or within his apparatus, we'll say, that work with him. But I'm not aware. Like I said, I don't know much about what went into this, unfortunately, and I wish I did. But fucking, I'm going to assume that Alex is the one who did the sculpting and facilitated the tailoring somehow, whether he tailored it himself or he pursued another route, another custom artist or a tailor to actually have it done. I don't know if anyone special did the cuffs or kind of some of the accessories. Again, I'm assuming that Alex is the one who did all of this. And even the feet was the one thing that I thought maybe I would have an issue with, but I'm gonna try to get in on it. But actually the feet even look pretty good. He put little cuts and things of that nature. You can see some of the damage in there. Hopefully that's coming in right. And then it's awesome that Jingles is included with the box. You know, the little cigar box. I think that was a cigar box, right? Or am I wrong about that? I can't see the fucking writing on this damn thing. It's so small. But I think it's supposed to be a cigar box. As we get in, let's see, original. I can't see that fucking shit, dude. It's fucking too small, and I ended up fucking zooming in on this damn foot. But as you can see, you see the little cuts on there. I'm gonna try to get in as close as I can. See those little cuts, little red spots. Actually pretty good. You know, from a distance, you're just like, you know, you look at the feet and you're like, that's looking a little rough. But honestly, it's actually a pretty good paint application, and you can see the little cuts and the battle damage and whatnot, which is really nice, little nice touches. And it stands very, very well barefoot, very, very well. And the feet are resin, I believe. They're not actual Fison like the body is. The body is Fison. And there's the receipt. Like I said, doesn't say anything about anybody else involved, so I'm assuming this is Alex on everything. You know, 14 out of 15. But tailoring is great. Everything fits well. I don't know what Fison body he used, but it's obviously a muscular body. This is a big boy. He's heavy, like he should be. Michael Clark Duncan is 6'5", I believe. And in scale with some of my other figures, he does sit where he should. So everything's pretty accurate. Man, dude, I tell you, I'm just wowed by this thing, man. Absolutely wowed. I mean, talk about an awesome tribute piece to an actor who is no longer with us. It's just fucking incredible, man. You couldn't ask for better justice to be done to a piece, man. And as I zoom in on this head, dude, the little beads of sweat, I hope that's coming through. Look at that shit, man. Look at that. Then on the side of the face as well. Hopefully that's coming in as well. Try to get in as close as I can. Those little bumps that you see, those are all little beads of sweat all over his forehead. But wow, man. You get his little necklace that he wears, which I'm going to try and get in. You can see, let's go up a little bit, a little circular pendant that's around it. Hopefully that's coming in. Or it might be too far in behind his shirt. Yeah, I think it might be too far in down his shirt. Sorry about that, but there's a little pendant on there as well. And then the cuffs. Everything, man, tension paid well. Really is. Really, really is. So I'm going to spin this guy around a little bit more. And I might put the Mr. Jingles in his hands. Just so you guys can get a look at him from a little higher viewpoint as he spans around. Excellent shit, man. Oh my god, I'm just speechless with this fucking thing, dude. So good. And Alex is working on some other stuff too. I think I saw him doing, man, what's Wesley Snipes' character name in Demolition Man? Completely fucking forget. It's been a while since I've watched that movie. But he's also working on that, and I think that's practically done because I saw some of the pics of the group shots of the figures together. So I think they're actually almost finished. But man, wow, this has got to be up there with his greatest work that he's done, if not the best work he's ever done. I mean, whew, man. And only 15 of these exist. When I saw Joe pop this up, there was no way that I wasn't jumping on it, man. No way. So good, man. So let me rotate this guy around. We'll talk about the movie a little bit, too. Just absolutely incredible. So here he is, guys, as he's turning around and kind of panning. And then as you gotta go in, you can see, you know, some of the imperfections if there have to be there. You know, you can see the little kind of line in the back of the head if that's coming through, you know, from the casting process. And then you can notice that the head is not exact paint match for the Fison body, but, you know, trying to paint a Fison body is not exactly the easiest task. And then, you know, as far as it holding the paint is also can be a problem. But this is a figure that blends well. I mean, for what he had to do for the neck, I mean, you're posing it obviously from the front. Can't see any issues because the shadow is the way you light this. If you know how to light your figures right, you shouldn't be seeing those kinds of things anyway. I mean, obviously you see the separation there on the side there. I love it that he adds some of the drips to the back too, man, but you're not really going to see them because obviously you're not going to display the figure from the fucking back. But tailoring all the way around is also good, man. I don't notice anything as far as imperfections or, you know, anything major, you know, that takes away from the figure. Obviously, I think everything is pretty fucking good. And I put him on the stand because I don't trust this display fucking turnstile or turntable or just motorized fucking turntable, like whatever you want to call it, display stand, for him falling the fuck over. So that's why he's on there. And then I think earlier I called this fucking thing the receipt. Obviously it's a fucking COA because I have 100 fucking COAs, as you can see in my damn display cases. But I was right before I started doing this review, I was texting somebody I just recently sold a figure to, that I had their receipt and the tracking number for something. So I got fucking receipt on the brain. Obviously not a fucking receipt. And those terms, I guess, well, technically I guess it kind of is if you really wanted to look at it from a proof of purchase, I guess, point of view. It could technically be considered a receipt. But these things they're called COAs, you know, obviously certificate of authenticities. That's just me misspeaking, you know, trying to wing reviews and talk at the same time while you're fucking doing this shit. It can be a little bit difficult. And dude, I love this shit. I love it that Jingles is in there. You even get the little shirt or whatever it was, blanket, whatever he rolls up in there that he can rest on and sleep or whatnot. But for those of you who have never seen this movie, you know, John was a special dude. In this film, you know, he basically has this ability, which you kind of figure out towards the end, to kind of, like, he can channel or take away, like, someone's pain, or even maybe their hate to a degree. And I think it's more like their pain, you know, sickness, things of that nature. He's almost like a messiah, kind of to a degree, or an angel maybe, if we were to kind of describe some of those qualities. You know, he's able to kind of take illness. Like if there's one, well, but rather than talk about it and kind of describe it in abstract terms, maybe I'll just give you a scene. So basically there's one part in the movie where the warden, and I hate to ruin some of this for some of you folks, but obviously it's a fucking figure, so based on a movie, so I'm going to talk about it. But the warden has a wife who's sick. You know, I think she has some kind of maybe cancer or something of that nature. And Coffey basically is taken to his house by some of the guards because they've developed a friendship, you know, throughout the film. And he actually takes the cancer out of her. And they come out like in the form of, I think it's like bees or flies or something like that. And then it comes out of her, and then he basically absorbs them into his mouth, I think, if I remember correctly. But then so I don't know if he technically gets sick from it, but he takes it in though. And you can see it causes him some anguish when he does that. And that's just one of the times that he does this, but it's real terrific film. And I'll give you that. You know, there's other instances where he does some of these things too. So I don't want to ruin them all for you. Even though it's like one of the main fucking ones, big ones that I fucking ended up ruining for you. But, you know, just to give you the gist. I don't want to ruin anything else. But really good fucking movie, man. Dude, even the arms on this guy are pretty accurate too. To Michael Duncan. Even those are accurate. He's a big guy, man. 6'5". Dude has some big arms, man. Got the guns. So that's the rotation of this guy around, as you can see. Fucking still stellar work, man. Just a great fucking piece, man. For an actor that's no longer with us, this is a great fucking tribute. I mean, I can't fucking speak highly enough of it. It's absolutely fantastic. So let me pop this thing up, and then we'll close out with some final thoughts. I really don't have much else to say about this other than it's fucking great. Wow. Alrighty, so final thoughts. Pleased. More than pleased, man. I mean, this is it's an amazing piece. Alex, you know, Serbian Custom Studio, whoever, if there's more people there involved, it's fantastic. Really a great job. They did wonderfully. I mean, I have nothing else to say. I mean, this is a great tribute figure. It's a great piece, custom piece in general. And man, it's I mean, it's hands down. It's just fantastic. It's again, is every time I get something, I'm like, you know, this is going to be one of my favorite pieces. You know, or it's my new favorite piece. So I guess I would say it's probably my new favorite figure right now as far as the customs. And it's just wow. That's it, man. It's great. If you haven't seen the movie, you know, check it out. It's fantastic. I think Tom Hanks even won some awards, or the movie itself won some awards. It's worth checking out. It definitely is. I'm happy to own this. I'm happy to be one of the 15 people that have one. And you know, thanks to Joe Bratton for throwing it out there, you know, selling it and hooking me up with a fair price too. At least. Especially in this day and age of kind of what aftermarket prices are going for. I mean, this is just releasing. Some people haven't even got it in hand yet. So I appreciate him letting this go for a reasonable price. All right, guys, so that's it, man. Next review is probably going to be one's customs, I believe, something of that nature. And then once I have those pieces, eventually, you know, we've got the Candyman project out there, and then there's some Fright Night stuff, and then K-Jun has another figure released that I'm on right now, and he's potentially starting in the future. So, but once these are done, man, I think I'm going to be taking a break for a little while. For sure, man. Got to save money for a change here. Yeah, we're getting older. I mean, I'm not old, but you know, you gotta start taking it easy in this hobby sometimes, and start putting money elsewhere. Responsibilities as an adult, motherfuckers. All right, guys, deuces.